Hello everyone, this is Polak back again, recording a new AAR of a diplomacy game after at least 2 years since Crowds in 2020. I apologize to those 7 viewers that I have for being absent for so long, but even though I've played a lot of games, I haven't had so much time since last time. But now I'm about to recall a game that I played recently on Backstabber. It was a normal press game, classic diplomacy. I was in England. And it was a very interesting and unique game, and I wanted to share with you my experience with it, also because I wanted to revive this channel a little bit. So I was in England, and of course I started talking with all my neighbors about possible plans. Of course, I offered alliances to Germany and France, and I wanted to be on good terms with Russia. And also I started communicating with Italy, Austria, and Turkey. From Turkey, I'd like to see them attack Russia and distract them a little bit. Austria, I hope it thrives, because usually in my experience, when Austria thrives, England thrives as well. And from Italy, I received very interesting messages because he seemed interested in attacking France, which is great. I asked him if he wanted to open to Piedmont, and he did. Then my talks with Germany became a lot more interesting. He seemed very interested in an EG alliance. He wanted to open to Burgundy, and he wanted me to open to English Channel. At the same time, France wanted me to DMZ, the English Channel, and I agreed. But after seeing that both Germany and Italy were agreeing on attacking France together, I decided to betray France's trust and enter the English Channel as well. Then Italy created a group chat between me, Germany, and himself, discussing what would be the split of the French territories. And I said, it's easy. Belgium and Paris go to Germany. I take Brest and Portugal. Italy takes Marseille and Spain. And we split it up like this. And then privately, I started talking with Germany about the possibility of betraying Italy after that, and taking Spain for myself and Marseille for them. And with Italy, the same thing, to go against Germany. Actually, it's, in my opinion, a bit risky, this sort of 3-on-1 alliance, because even though France goes down fast, usually England turns out to be the third wheel of the alliance, and Italy and Germany gang up on England. But I was hoping not to be the third wheel of this alliance and try to make it so that one of them would be the odd one out. Then what happened is that everyone followed the orders like we described. Germany goes to Burgundy, and he negotiated a DMZ in Burgundy with France, so France doesn't move there. I go to English Channel, Italy goes to Piedmont. This is great. Italy doesn't move to Tyrrhenian Sea, but that's okay. So at this point, France sends a message to all of us, to us three, saying, I surrender. I surrender. Tell me what you want to do. I will do it. And I say, to France, I'm inclined to accept your surrender, but I see what happens when I talk with my allies, and Germany pushes to destroy France. Actually, I was just saying that because I wanted France to believe that I was the good cop in this alliance, so that when France decides who to throw their centers to, maybe he decides to throw with me, to me, because I surrender doesn't mean anything in this case until France has lost some centers. And Italy agrees with Germany. Let's destroy France. Let's go ahead with their plans. Let's not pity France too much and decide to spare him. That's okay. That's fine. So we decide to continue attacking France. And in the meanwhile, Russia goes for the standard Russian southern opening, but with Sevastopol moving to Romania and Ankara moves to Constantinople. So Black Sea is DMZ. This is not a good sign, because this means that Russia doesn't have a Turkish enemy in the south. They seem allied. It seems like there's a juggernaut forming, and that only means a strong Russia. That means problems for me and Germany. Let's go on. And also with Italy is not going against Austria, which is good, but at the same time, it's not gonna help Austria either. So we'll see how that plays out. In fall 1901, I take Norway with an army and try to take Brest with the fleet, and it doesn't work. I could have also gone to Mayo or taken Belgium, but I gambited the possibility of taking Brest, and it didn't work. At the same time, Germany takes Paris and Italy takes Marseille, so I'm the only one in my alliance not to take anything from France, which is kind of a shame. And at the same time, Germany keeps his word and bounces Russia out of Sweden. Russia takes Romania, and Austria takes Serbia and Greece, while Bulgaria goes to Turkey, and Italy convoys to Tunis. Nothing much to say. The obvious build for me is a fleet in Liverpool, but France at least doesn't build, which is great. It's amazing. Like as an anti-French alliance goes, this is the best you can hope for. Of course, I'd rather be Germany or Italy, but it's okay. We can work with this. Let's go on. This fleet by Germany is to attack Sweden, so that's fine, and also it's the best choice for Germany to build a fleet and not two armies in the first year. So Germany goes for Belgium, so their split of France is already taken, Belgium and Paris, which is worrying, and France retakes Marseille because they can, while I don't make much progress other than bouncing Sweden and taking NAO. Actually, Austria here advances against Russia. And in fall 1902, finally, I make some advances because France has given up and it doesn't try to bounce me out of Mid-Atlantic Ocean. I take Brest. Thankfully, Germany doesn't try to bounce me. I notice here that Germany tried to move to London, jokingly, because of course the only way they would go to London is if I convert them there, and Germany takes Sweden while I bounce and go against Russia. At the same time, Germany had moved to Silesia, but then they supported Warsaw, which is okay. And actually, the juggernaut is on the back foot because Italy is helping Turkey, is helping Austria against Turkey, and Austria is having fun kicking Russia's butt. Anyway, let's go on. At this point, I build another fleet, and my agreement with Germany at this point is I will build only fleets, you build only armies, and we can be allies forever, because it will be impossible for you to stab me, and I will have a hard time stabbing you inland because I don't have any armies. There is no danger of either of us soloing in a way. That's what I'm saying to Germany, and I'm saying I would really like having a two-way draw with you. A two-way draw, English-German alliance, is, in my opinion, very difficult to achieve, but it's possible, and that's what I'm saying to Germany, to make it so that after France is completely destroyed, they will let me go against Italy, and they will go against Russia and Austria and help me out, and then we'll see what happens. I have had other experiences in this alliance. Actually, when I'm in England, Germany is probably my favorite ally, and usually when I stab Germany too early, it's not that great. Usually one power in the east, like Austria, gets really strong, and then Germany and I have to make peace to stop them from soloing. That's my experience. So in this case, I wanted to be really loyal to Germany until the very last possible moment in which I had to stab them, and then stop them for the zone. That's my plan. I wanted to go deep into the Mediterranean and take centers from Italy and even maybe Austria and Turkey. Let's see what happens. And I wanted to create good rapport with Germany. And I was achieving that because Germany was very open and seemed a very experienced player with which I could talk about the game and other stuff, while Italy was a little bit failing on this front, meaning that they seemed a little bit inexperienced, and that's okay, that's fine. At a certain point, I explained to Italy the different coasts of Spain because they didn't know that Spain had two coasts. So this meant that I was helping Italy, but I was also understanding that Italy was a little bit inexperienced. Italy told me afterwards that this was their first game as Italy. So Germany had a low opinion of Italy. They said, why did Italy actually attack France? That's not a good choice. I disagree. I think that attacking France as Italy, as your first target, when England and Germany are allied with you, is a good choice. I mean, it's not inherently worse than attacking Austria or Turkey. So, but I could perceive that Germany wasn't having as much fun working with Italy and communicating with Italy as it was with me. And that's really good because relationship is everything in diplomacy. So after the bins, which are fleets for me, armies for Germany, and that's according to plan, I get Italy and Germany to support me in Spain. Italy trusts Germany not to attack them in Marseille, and it doesn't. And I also get supported into Norway with the intent of going into St. Petersburg. At the same time, Austria is emerging as the dominant power in the south, having taken all of the Balkans, and actually Russia enlarged this third. At this point, I managed to take St. Petersburg, and I managed to convince Italy to support me into Portugal because it was the plan. I would have Portugal and Brest, they would have Marseille and Spain, it's only fair. And Italy trusts me and trusts Germany because they say it was the plan. Why wouldn't I support England in Portugal, even though I am exposing Marseille to a German attack? And Germany attacks them. Germany asks me about it, and I say go for it, because I want them to be enemies now, because then they can't be allied against me. Exactly what happened. Italy is not a fool though. Italy will blame me for this attack, and I will say, what have I done? So even though Italy is not believing me 100%, I am telling Italy, I didn't betray you. Only Germany betrayed you, exploiting the fact that you were helping me. I didn't know that. I didn't expect that. And at this point, Germany was the dominant power with 8 centers. I had only 5 in 1903. And Italy also. And Italy and I were conspiring about Germany's strength and the danger that put us in. Germany here is taking Marseille and Warsaw, with a good possibility of taking Moscow then. So it is a dangerous situation. And that's why I was still on the fence on what to attack next. Do I want to attack Italy now, in Spain, in Marseille, and possibly in Marseille, even though Marseille is German? Or do I want to stop Germany? And my decision is not clear, and I'm talking with Italy and Germany separately and seeming like I'm their friend. And Germany had negotiated with me a DMZ of North Sea, and they didn't want me to bring fleets that bordered on North Sea, and I started not to do it. So I brought fleets only in Liverpool from now on until a certain point, and I started building armies because it makes sense. I need to transport armies on the mainland if I want to conquer some centers in Russia. And this should have been a red flag for Germany, but what can he do? Does he want me to have more fleets and a complete dominance in the north so that I can stab for Denmark, Holland and Belgium at any point? Or does he prefer me to have armies that then can be used against him on the mainland? It's a very difficult situation. And at this point, Germany trusts me to attack Italy. And Italy is mistrustful of me, but is asking me, okay, let me take Marseille, maybe tap Gascony, do something, stop Germany, and we'll see what I did. So basically, this turn, it's clear that I'm stabbing Italy. I am taking Spain with German help. I'm not helping Italy. I'm moving my units in a way that is clear that is hostile to Italy, but Italy, being inexperienced, doesn't see that clearly, because Italy had actually asked me to move into Spain because that would have bounced a possible attack from Germany. So I'm actually not betraying Italy so clearly, because Italy could think I asked them to move to Spain. At the same time, you can see my single X in the middle of the board with Edinburgh and St. Petersburg. Germany had offered me a support into Moscow, and I said I can't take it, because if I move to Moscow, that allows you, and at the same time I'm moving Norway to Norwegian Sea, that allows you to stab for St. Petersburg and Norway, and they can do anything about it if you do. So it's too tempting of an offer for you, of a situation for you, a stab for two centers. And I don't want to tempt you. I think that a good ally doesn't tempt you too much. And he agreed. So he said, you know what? I'm going to support you anyway, and you don't have to tell me if you move to Moscow or not. I won't know. And I said, wow, that's some public press strategies, because in public press, since you have to talk in front of everyone, allies and enemies, you often say, I will do this or that. And you can tell your allies straight what you're going to do. That's the same. Germany told me, I'm going to give you a support, you can take it or not. And I said, okay, I won't tell you if I'm going to take it or not. And I didn't take it, and I used my unit to form a giant X in the middle of the map. And Germany and I exchanged some jokes that there must be some hidden treasure under the X in Saint-Ligia. And he said that his unit in Saint-Ligia was being ordered to dig in the following turn. So after that, Italy is still asking me for support into Marseille, but of course I don't give it. I take Spain, I move to Gonfalonion. At this point, I'm completely committed to this England-German alliance. And Germany is doing a single X as well in Denmark, this time because he wants to copy me. And at this point, it's just a matter of steamrolling the board. And as you can see, I'm catching up to Germany. I am at 9 units and Germany is at 10, which is great, because since I am the naval power and I'm more difficult to stab, being on par with Germany with units is actually an advantage for me. I am stronger defensively, and I have an easier time stabbing Germany if I want to, for some centers on the coastline. At this point, Italy, Austria, and what remains of Turkey and Russia should definitely unite against our alliance, but they fail to do so, at least competently, especially Russia and Turkey, which are still trying to, but they have only 1 and 2 centers, so I can't blame them. But also Austria, why are you still trying to eliminate Turkey and Russia? And Germany advanced against Austria, while I advanced against Italy, and it's a cakewalk. I mean, to be frank, it's just a history of me taking Rome and Tunis at the same time, and my progress is faster than Germany's, which is the key. At this point, I'm at 11 centers and Germany is at 10, and I'm reflecting on what I need to solo. I need Naples, Greece, Constantinople, Smyrna, Ankara, Sevastopol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I can get this 7, I can solo. Since I have only naval power, it's very difficult for me to get centers like Venice, or even Ankara, now that I think about it. So, but I wanted to go behind enemy line, behind Turkey in Armenia, to get that. So my plan is even to win without even stabbing Germany, approaching the 18 centers without seeming like I'm going to betray Germany, and then reaching the 18 centers without Germany being able to do anything about it. But of course, I have to limit Germany's expansion, because Germany is going to gobble up all of these Austrian centers and get a lot of beans. Some of them can be fleets, and some of them can be armies that can take Brest, Spain. So we'll see what happens. I get support into Sevastopol, so Germany is still helping me, and I'm still convoying units and arranging bounces in Norway, and I'm positioning myself for a stab of Germany, but still helping Germany in Romania here, and taking Naples. And Germany is still keeping his word, building only armies, and I'm still keeping my word, building fleets in Liverpool and not in London or Edinburgh. Even though I wanted to build a fleet in London, I knew that that would be very worrying to Germany, and I didn't want to worry him at all, especially because now I'm at 13 and he's at 12. So now, this is very funny to me. I'm in Armenia, and now is the time to make the stab on Germany. I move in North Sea, England. I take Marseille, which I had told Germany, why don't you give me a center somewhere? Yeah, I had told Germany, why don't you give me Sweden and you can take St. Petersburg from me or something. And I wanted just to steal a center from them, but they said, take Marseille. And I was thinking I was going to take Marseille anyway. But it's a two-center stab with Warsaw and Marseille, and I'm moving to English Channel and North Sea. And I tried for Smyrna and it didn't work, but I'm also encircling the last Turkish centers. So it's a very difficult situation now for Germany, because even though they got Budapest and Trieste, they lost two centers, so they don't get to build. And but they are still extremely strong, but they really need the help of Austria and Turkey to even have a chance to stop me now. So now I get armies because I need to convoy, and at this point I had planned my next moves in advance. Germany brings an army from, I guess, some destroyed unit last year, I don't remember correctly. And anyway, at this point, it's just a matter of mopping up the board. I take Smyrna, and I convoy to Belgium and to Picardy, because I can't be stopped from doing both. And I knew that then after that I could take Paris, and if I was bounced in Paris, I could use the new unit in Belgium to support North Sea to Holland, and only one of them can be stopped. So Belgium and Holland, or Belgium and Paris, are mine. And at the same time I'm getting Smyrna, and I'm at 18 with those, but I can lose Warsaw, so I need another center, and that center won't be Constantinople. Of course, if Bulgaria supports the Turkish unit in Constantinople and I lose Warsaw, I'm at 17, and my victory is not guaranteed, but I had to risk it. I'm gonna cover everything else. Honestly, Turkey and Austria have never cooperated, so why should they now? And in fact, they don't. I take Smyrna, Constantinople, Belgium, Holland. I get bounced out of Paris. I protect everything else. Germany doesn't guess correctly here, so I retain Warsaw. And so this is the final board in winter 1908 with 19 centers. A very beautiful board in which I basically became England plus Russia plus most of France, Italy and Turkey. It was a very unusual win for me with England. Usually I just win with Tunis or Moscow or both. And I had a lot of fun. And I'm sorry to have betrayed Italy, which was most disappointed and said, now I've learned never to trust again. And I was trying to convince him, no, you have to trust someone in this game, just not me, I guess. And Germany as well stopped talking to me because he really wanted the two-way draw. And actually, at a certain point before the situation became so dire for them, I was also going to accept a two-way draw just because this game is not rated or something, and it's on Backstabber, so there are no points. If Austria and Turkey were going to accept the two-way draw between us. So they were going to surrender and we were going to draw. This was way before the situation became so bad for them. But they refused, and then I went on to solo. But I had actually set up the win condition at two-way draw at that point. So I didn't actually betray Germany until I couldn't find any way to complete this game without betraying them. Okay, maybe I could have continued this game without stabbing them, but you know, you got a solo. It's not easy, so when you can do it, you should do it. So this was my recollection from this game called Ready Player 7. It was really fun. I really unusual, in my opinion, ending screen, if I can call it that. And I'm sorry if this video won't contain memes unless I put them in during editing in the recording, but it was a very spontaneous thing just to make a video after such a long time. So see you next time.